You know what really makes me mad is when I see people who are family of veterans who are scrambling. And this just recently happened to me this past week, actually, week and a half, when they're scrambling to take care of burial and memorial wishes for a veteran that passed away. So I'm going to prep you veterans today on how to get your crap together before then. Stand by. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about BAM benefits, BAM, burial and memorial. Listen, I know you want to tune away from this because no one wants to think about the fact that they're going to die someday. You're going to freaking die someday, okay? Let's just get it through our heads and let's do something that we're really good at. Let's prepare everybody else in case something happens to us, or in this case, when something happens to us. Now, I can tell you from personal experience that in my safe, I have all the forms filled out. I've got little Post-it notes next to everything. Fill this in, sign here, do that, put the date. I've got all that stuff in a packet in my family safe. So my family can open up the safe, pull out the packet, bam, fill everything out, or hand it to a lawyer and get it done. A lot of veterans do not do that. And I think it's because they don't know just how simple it is to get the basics taken care of. So let's cover that here in just a second. If you like these videos, please let them run all the way through. That helps get the algorithm from YouTube working for me, and it gets these videos out to more and more veterans. More and more veterans see it. Maybe we can get more and more veterans prepared for when they're going to be going, right? So burial and memorial benefits. We're just going to talk through this. There are different burial benefits that you can get, right? You can get a burial allowance, which will cover the costs of a burial. It pays expenses directly related to the burial or to the cremation, either one. The amount varies based on whether the veteran's death was service related or if it was just otherwise, not. The standard recently, in recent years, in the recent 5-10 years, standard rates for service related deaths has been higher than for non-service related deaths. I don't know if I agree with that or not. It's a benefit for burial and memorial. The hell does it matter if it was service related or not? Just my 2 cents. Eligibility for that burial benefit is that veterans who are discharged under conditions other than dishonorable. So if you got a general under honorable conditions, good to go. Okay. The second thing is you can get a grave marker. A grave marker is a headstone marker or a plaque or a headstone itself for any veteran buried in a private cemetery at no cost to you whatsoever. Markers can be flat, as in horizontal, upright, vertical, and they come in various styles, materials. They come with, either there's like a Navy one, or there's a war one, or there's an Army, or, it's got all kinds of different ways you can get your grave markers. We'll talk about the forms and all that stuff here in just a minute. Next thing is burial in a national cemetery. If you don't have a family plot, don't want to buy a plot, eligible veterans and their spouses, mind you, can be buried in one of the 155 VA national cemeteries across the nation at zero cost. 155 different cemeteries across the nation. If there's one near you, great. If there's not, look around and get off there on the website and figure out where you can find one if that's what you want to do, right? It includes the cost of the gravesite, the opening and closing of the grave, and the grave marker. There's a lot of veterans that apply that meet the criteria of eligibility for this, including some of them discharged under other than dishonorable conditions. A lot that can apply. Military funeral honors is the next one. Veterans are entitled to a military funeral honors, which includes a flag, taps, and a uniformed service representative to present the flag to the family. Now, what that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that if you were in the Army, you're going to get somebody necessarily from the Army, right? They try, but a lot of funerals, a lot of people being pulled in different directions. Sometimes you get the same service that you were in, sometimes you don't, but at least you get somebody in a uniformed service that can bring, fold, give the flag, present the flag to your loved ones after you go. I think that's a pretty good deal, right? And I think that we really need to remember that that's out there. All right. Eligibility criteria for these things. Any veteran who has previously served in selective active duty service, including active duty for training, and who is discharged under conditions other than dishonorable, and the spouses of eligible veterans and dependent children may also be entitled to these benefits. So keep that in mind. All right, so the application for burial benefits, VA Form 21P 530EZ. Well, it's the 530 form, but the easy form is online. That's the application for burial benefits. To apply for that, burial allowances and request burial in a national cemetery, you use that form, okay? Submit the form to the VA regional office or the cemetery. I downloaded the PDF forms for myself and I filled them in. And then I just put the little tick marks and the Post-it notes and everything else on there so that it's ready to go. The one thing I haven't done, and I didn't even think about this till now, is that you submit these to the VA regional office or the cemetery. If you're submitting these to the regional office, have an envelope prepared. I need to go prepare an envelope. I need to put the address on the outside, who it's to, etc. I need to get that done. So quite honestly, I'm slacking on one part of this too, and I'm kind of glad we're going through this. 21P 530, or the 530EZ, which is done online. Claim for reimbursement of funeral expenses is the VA Form 21P 601. That is application for burial benefits or claim for reimbursement of funeral expenses. This is for when you want to be reimbursed for expenses that are incurred directly to a veteran's burial or burial-related expenses. This should also be sent to the VA regional office. The request for a headstone or marker, VA Form 40, TAC 1330, right? So 40-1330, application for a government headstone or marker. This is for veterans who want to have that headstone or they want to have that marker on a different headstone in a private cemetery. You send this form, this 40-1330, excuse me, to the appropriate cemetery where the marker is going to be installed. That's how you submit that one. You don't give it to your regional office. That's where that one goes. And then the National Cemetery Scheduling Request. VA Form 40, TAC 10007. So 0007, not 007, 0007. Application for National Cemetery Burial Benefits. Obviously, this is used to, request a burial in a national cemetery. You can fill it out online, or you can submit to the national cemetery that the veteran desires to be buried in. Now, there are some of these forms that you can fill out in advance. There's some requests that can be made in advance. Some of these have to be finished by your loved ones. And here's what needs to happen. And if you really want to be as well prepared as you can be, number one, make sure you got all your necessary paperwork. Your discharge papers, your DD-214, marriage license, children's birth certificates. If you need any of that stuff, get all that stuff together, get it in one place, get copies of it, put it with your forms, you're good to go. Complete those federal forms. Like I said, I've got mine sitting in a manila envelope, and they've got all the forms in there with directions on what's left to fill in. I filled in almost everything that I could, quite honestly. I filled in all my name areas, what my social is, what my service number was, what my active duty dates were, everything that I could fill in without having somebody else have to go through the pain of doing it once I'm gone, I took care of. Because I don't want them to worry about that crap. I don't want them to have to, how do I navigate the VA? All of us that are watching these videos, we've navigated the VA. That map is messed up, right? I think we can all agree that map is messed up when it comes to benefits. So let's make sure we take care of things for our loved ones. After these are submitted, either the veteran, if you've submitted it ahead of time, or your family member needs to follow up with the VA to verify the benefits are being processed and to check the status. A lot of these now are online, so when you submit them, there will be a link for them to go back and check the status, etc. If you're working with a cemetery and they're doing the work for you, or you're working with a lawyer and they're doing the work for you, put it on them. Ask them for regular updates. Veterans, hear me out. Do you want to make some of the most painful times for your family even more painful by sitting around and saying, you know what, I could have filled in 15 of these forms when I was alive, but I didn't. And if you think you have time, think again. A buddy of mine contacted me just over a week ago and said, hey, my dad, Vietnam veteran, just found out that he potentially has cancer. Within days, he was gone. I had enough time that night to build an email. It's what gave me the idea for this video. I built an email. I shot him over an email with all the forms, all the phone numbers. Here's the website, everything that I could so that he could potentially get all that paperwork done while his dad was still alive. But a couple of days later, his dad passed. And now they have to navigate that system without any of that information readily at their hands. It's very simple, folks. Fill out the forms. Tell your loved ones what you want. Put them in a place where they're going to be safe, and help your loved ones not worry about you after you're gone. Let them just celebrate the fact that we were all crazy enough to join the military at one time. All right, that's all I got for you today. Take care of each other. See ya.